Stuart, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. You think about it, we rant about it. Listen to us live on Facebook.
So it is the start of another week in August. For some of you, our kids are going back to school. For others, you've got another week to 3 weeks to get ready. So, I say get ready and just remember it's still post COVID in my mind, and every institution has all new types of forms. Get ready. And the doctor's got to sign them. It's a pain. But I'm not here to talk about going back to school because David and I look like we're long done school. And today is the 16th of August, 2021. My name's Stuart Brisgel. I am in South Florida in the Aventura Corporate Center and the studio. And David is in Montreal. David Solomon in Montreal, Quebec, in the illustrious where it's probably a raw 80 degrees. David, what do you think?
Actually, it's raw. It's a little warmer than 80 today. It's a nice, beautiful sunny day, man.
Wow. Are you allowed into your house?
Stuart, I think it's time for you to progress. We're allowed out of the house. We're actually better vaccinated than Americans. Enough is enough already. Let's see. Oh yeah, statistically we're way better off, but we're not here to talk about
No.
COVID.
But I just figured I had to have the slights in.
I know, but
I've got what we're talking about on the screen, David. I'm jumping. If you read this, American Express that has the Centurion Gladiator on the cover, right? It says, don't live life without it. And, you would think that my rant would start and stop with one of the stronger financial institutions that is primarily owned by Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most capitalistic, intensive companies in the planet. And so Berkshire Hathaway, right, the one and only, owns the majority of American Express. Most people don't even know that. In fact, a lot of people don't even know where American Express actually came from. And you know what, David? Yes, there needs to be some history. When a company out of Express Mail, Buffalo, New York, was a merger between Henry Wells, believe it or not, the Wells Fargo Company, and William Fargo. I mean, that's where it all started, right? And this company and these individuals are based off of pure, raw capitalism. If you look at their stock certificates from the 1800s all the way up to the 1965 issuance of the modern day American Express Company. And the logo comes from like the 1950s, right? But here we are today, 2021, and the CEO of American Express hires someone who tells its employees that capitalism is the source of all evil. They go on in an entire lecture about how capitalism is bad. I was at the stores over the weekend. It's my anniversary today, and obviously was at a place called Bal Harbor. And my wife just went to go look at a pair of shoes, and a woman with a young child was walking by and says, "Everything in Europe is great and America sucks," to a 6-year-old child. And me and my bravadous, no nonsense type remarks went to the woman and said, "You should take your child and leave the country immediately. You don't belong to live here if you believe the country that you're in isn't the greatest base on earth." That doesn't mean Canada's not great either. I mean Western world. Canada, United States, two very unique countries. Ours double the age and still, running on the same methodologies really at heart. But bottom line is, if you don't love this country, leave this country. If you don't like capitalism, move to where there's communism. Okay? Move to where there's socialism. This country has built its four walls on God. It built it on capitalism. It built it on borders. And it built it with a military and bloodshed. David, please tell me, I just ranted for a few minutes about what I felt because I just needed to get it off my chest to
Yeah.
allow you to speak. But
Well,
David, I know you've got a lot to say as well.
well, I got to tell you, when Stuart, when you sent this to me, my first reaction was it wasn't Ben and Jerry's.
Oh,
Ben and Jerry's, I would have understood with this
yep,
kind of mindset.
free ice
American
cream.
Express, American Express last quarter posted a $2.3 billion profit. Please let me be clear, not revenue, profit. And if you're telling me that the base of this corporation that is capitalism is horrifying, it's ugly, it's evil, I don't get I don't get why they're alive. Why don't we just dismantle the whole corporation? The whole notion, the basis of American Express is what is it based on, Stuart? Interest, charging people for credit,
Well,
charging people for to
well,
basically
well, 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 hang on. If it's such a feel good company, why did it sue more than
look,
25,000 people in collections? I
look,
mean, hey, they
look,
don't believe in capitalism.
look, bottom line is this. Bottom line is this. I think that I get, you know what? I when I went back to do my MBA about 9, 10 years ago, they talked about corporate social responsibility. And part of that had to do with the environment, and part of it had to do with, responsibility to just goes beyond than making the buck. And at first I went, what is this garbage? Like, where's this coming from? But I got it. I got what they were trying to say is we all have responsibility. But here we are today, where a company wants to teach its employees sensitivity. And what they did is they brought the great grandson of the Nation of Islam's founders to tell them that the capitalism's evil. And that, that the credit card company is taking part of the critical race theory training program. And it tells, you have to deconstruct like the whole notion that American Express was built on the idea of remember what's the motto, right? Membership has its privileges. No crap, no shit, people. If you're not happy with a credit card, cut it up, throw it in the garbage. Don't use it. Use cash. Use your debit card. I don't care. But for Pete's sake, to tell your employees, again, even the white employees, stop being racists because you're part of the problem. And then to tell all the employees that everything that they're working for at American Express is basically the root of all evils. I'm Stuart, I sat here, I read this, I researched it, and I wanted
Yeah. You were shocked when I sent it to you. You
I
didn't
was,
believe. You
but
were
I,
like, "What are you talking about, sir?" And I gotta go on Friday, and I'm like, "No, you gotta read this. I mean, I can't make this shit up."
I could not believe that we are continuing to bring in these philosophical lunatics who are trying to deconstruct, as you said, and destroy the fundamentals of what we're built. Like, listen, you're right. If you're not happy with capitalism, go away. But I want to ask these same people who are deconstructing capitalism, and I see the picture of, Khalil Muhammad who lectured in a beautiful tuxedo, and I'm asking myself, how does one get a tuxedo if one is not able to make money? Isn't that capitalism?
David, it's come to the point where you really gotta understand. I would like to know. I pulled up the wrong screen here, but I can get to the right screen. I am looking at Stephen J. Squirry. This guy graduated Manhattan MBA. He began working at this company, from the insurance companies all the way up. I'd like to know, did he donate his entire stock option base, his salary? Did he bend over the desk and take a paddle? Because you know what? I think the guy gets paid millions of dollars a year. And he's telling me and the rest of his company that America and American Express and capitalism is racist.
Stuart, the line I cannot understand from this whole thing is that the statement is that you are complicit in giving privileges in one community against the other under the pretext that we live in a meritocratic system where the market judges everyone the same. And I'm thinking, wait a second. If you want where everybody has the same, then try to test it. Check out China, Cuba, uh, Eastern
Russia.
Europe, Russia. You tell me how well that's done, because at the end of the day, while you aspire to have everybody being equal, there is no such a thing, unfortunately. We have different tiers because not everybody can be equal. We can be treated equitably, but not equally. It's a different
David,
thing.
very well said. You can be treated equitably. I think everyone should be treated equitably. I think everyone has a right to be treated like a human being. That doesn't include an American Express card with an unlimited balance sheet. The next thing is people that work for a paycheck, they work to live. And you know what? They need to enjoy their lives. I agree. Some people will enjoy their lives more than others. We just had the Tokyo Games. We talked about it at great detail. They originate in Greece. The Olympics are based off of war, right? That's what the principle of the Olympics were. Gladiators type sports. They were all done naked, by the way. But the most important aspect isn't that they were naked or that it originated in Greece. The reality is there was only one winner. And you know what? In life, there are winners, there are losers. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but people don't like to hear
I
that,
know
Stuart.
people do the same way they don't like me using the R word. I'm telling you, they're winners and losers. And that's just a fact of life.
Yeah, but you know what,
And
Stuart?
Steve, and by
Unfortunately,
the way,
what you're
Stephen Squirry, with all due respect, the Stephen Squirry character knows all too well that there is a winner and a loser. He's the CEO of a company.
But Stuart, here's the thing, and unfortunately, this is where we're getting to in our world. People are hypocrites, because if you're going to tell me there can't be winners and losers, then please tell me one thing: do you not cheer for a sports team? Because basically, that's what you're doing. Are you saying that we should all strive for the same thing? If the attitude is and if that's what American Express is wants to aspire to, then you know what? Okay, we can aspire for all of the same thing, but I should have the choice then to say whether I want in or not. Because the fact is that if I know, and let's say, for example, that the average median income in an area is like $50,000, $60,000. Does that mean that everybody's got to do that? By the way, that kibbutz idea that was started, in Israel, the 1920s and
No
30s,
longer exists.
died,
No longer exists. No
died,
longer exists.
died. It died. It's because the notion that everybody shares equally and has equal in whatever, it's not human nature. It doesn't mean it's bad. And I'm sick of hearing that. It's not black and white. And yes, there are those who are going to say that it's not fair. And I agree that it's not fair. But don't give me that we don't have fair opportunities. There are those who cannot, and I understand that, and that sucks. And the system has to change. But don't change the whole system. Don't destroy capitalism for the sake of a percentage of people who say, I'm not being treated
Well,
fairly. I'm not buying it.
David, not for me, but for thee. And
Correct.
and and you know what? Again, you said on last week as well. We talked about the Dems gone mad. Let's appease under 2% of the population and affect 98% of the population. In this whole race theory is just literally something that won't work. And at the end of the day, the CEOs from the most capitalistic type companies, American Express, it is absolutely sick and disgusting. And you know what? I'm sorry it wasn't reported more in the media, but the CEO for this and its stockholders should immediately resign. Guys, I have to preface my name is Stuart Brisgel. I'm a financial advisor. I buy and sell stock. This is not a recommendation to sell or buy. I do own American Express in a portfolio, and I am not very happy today. And for my
But
clients
I'll
are
tell you
not
something.
very happy either that are
But I'll tell
socially
you something,
charged.
Stuart. You may say whatever you want as the financial advisor and preface what I say, but I'm going to tell you
Listen,
like this, folks. In the world of choice between Visa, MasterCard, Discover in the US, and American Express, I don't understand if American Express is going to profess that I'm a racist, if American Express is going to profess that capitalism the root of all evils, then I will vote like I always say with my scissors. I will cut up a card and I will go with somebody else.
Yep.
Stuart,
Hashtag tear the annex. I want to
well,
start a new one. Hashtag tear the annex.
Stuart, we've reached our quarter hour, buddy. And listen, want to wish you all a happy anniversary. You and your wife, all the
Thank
very
you.
best. To the rest of Canadians, I am so sorry to say that we are now in election time, and our idiot prime minister has decided to call an election in the middle of a pandemic because he's a power hungry lunatic, and we're all going to be having over the next few weeks some crazy stuff. So over the next few weeks we're going to be talking about this, is like really the timing, the sensibility, and also the priorities of what's in an election. We saw what happened in the US just this past year, and now we're going to see what's happening in October. It's amazing to see the differences between
Are there differences? Are there differences?
There are horrific differences between our two countries.
When are we
And if you
talking
would
about
look
it?
just
When
at
are we
the-
talking?
But you know what? I don't know when we're going to talk about it, but folks, stay tuned for Wednesday's episode. We don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure something between now and then is going to surface. So stay tuned. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live noon Eastern. Here's pre-recorded on YouTube. Check us out on our YouTube channel. Check us out on the rantnetwork.com or on Facebook or anywhere where you get your favorite podcast. On that note, I'm David Solomon. He's Stuart Brisgel. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, everybody.